The next patch for Helldivers 2 is gearing up to be huge. Now, this is based on a few things. Number one is the last huge patch, which brought the fun back to the game and buffed everything. The patch notes for Helldivers 2 stated, "We want to assure that your feedback remains essential to us. Please share your thoughts on these updates as we are actively listening. We plan to conduct another balance pass by day 60 of our commitment to ensure we're aligning with what you need for the best possible experience and to address any concerns or adjustments required. Your insights will be invaluable in refining these changes and making sure the game remains engaging and enjoyable for everyone." And that was the last big patch. They said they're gonna do another pass at the end of the 60 days based on our feedback. And according to a quick Google search, we can see that the end of the 60 days is actually this Saturday, October the 12th. Now, given that Helldivers 2 never does a patch on the weekends, the date I'm expecting for the 60-day patch is next Tuesday because that's their normal patch day. It is a few days later than the 60 days, but personally, I'm not worried about that. Number one, because Helldivers 2 is fun right now after the first big patch for the 60-day plan, and number two, because I believe that they're cooking up a big one. We have a message from Baskinator, the community manager, and we have a few other things to talk about today. The current Defense Liberation campaign so we can get the Democracy Space Station, as well as Liberty Day coming up, which may add a ton of new content. Even a message from the CEO about progression being added into the game. And then finally, we'll go over a fun post on Reddit talking about whether the automatons have brains or not, and I even have an old clip from months ago to support this theory. So before we dive in, let's talk about today's sponsor, Instant Gaming, an absolutely awesome video games website that you should check out. There's tons of video games that you might be already interested in on this website, but since it is Halloween soon, I recommend taking a look at Silent Hill 2 and see if you can get it for your platform on this website. And they've got many other great games for super low prices, so make sure you use my link in the description if you plan on getting any of these upcoming games for cheaper prices. I personally use this website, and so do many people in my community already. There's another link in the description to enter a video game for any game of your choice. So if you don't plan on buying, at least enter the giveaway. So first things first is the next patch for Helldivers 2, and Baskinator actually commented, the community manager, that the end of the 60 days is coming up this weekend, which we already Google searched it, it's on Saturday, but she also said that they aren't done yet, which is kind of hinting that this next patch will be big. Now, they gave us a ton of teasers leading up to the last patch, you know, the escalation of buffs, but the only ones I could dig up for this patch is that the jetpack, the purifier, and the anti-tank mines are all receiving buffs. The purifier will be able to be instant fired, but charged up for a blast, and the anti-tank mines will be getting more damage in the upcoming patch, but they are still looking into making them not trigger on Helldivers or small enemies. And who knows, this message was actually a while ago, back on September 17th, so maybe we could see a surprise. If they don't trigger on Helldivers, then what I'll say is these mines may become a staple in some of my loadouts, since they won't trigger on Helldivers. I honestly love repositioning tools like this, and so many people wanted the anti-tank mines to be good, and that change right there is the one that will make them good, especially with a confirmed damage boost. So what else could be coming up in the next patch? You know, we don't have many teasers this time around, but like I covered in the intro, they said that they are actually listening to feedback. Well, I posted a video recently about how ricochets and tanks are both big problems for players right now. Ricochets causing things like orbital precision strike and spear to ricochet and be a little bit underwhelming sometimes, as well as the barrager tanks just not dying to 500 kgs. Now, Pilostat responded to the original Reddit post about the barrager tank, saying that the 500 kg should be bye-bye. So I would imagine that that's being looked at in this upcoming patch. They also ran a poll about ragdolling recently, and they listed the 3 main enemies as one of these options, which cause a bunch of ragdolling against the bots right now. So given that they know that these are the 3 enemies causing it, I would imagine that some of these enemies will be seeing changes in the next patch. And in general, people have been complaining about the health nerfs. You know, maybe we won't return to our old health, even though we honestly were glass divers before. but maybe Arrowhead will make some adjustments to meet us in the middle, and we can see how it feels again and go from there. I will say I do miss the days of being thrown across the map by a charger rather than just being insta-killed by them. Some ragdolling in the game is actually good and funny. It's just the excessive ragdolling on the bot side that really still needs to go. And go ahead and crucify me for that opinion in the comments if you'd like, but I also think that the bubble shield getting knocked back is hilarious, and I really don't mind it at all, since you still don't take any damage from the source that ragdolls you, just a bit of impact damage. But besides the next balance patch, what kind of content could be coming up this month? On October 26th is Liberty Day. Now, there's been multiple videos from other content creators on this, so I'll just cover it very briefly. I think we'll be seeing a new war bond and probably weapon customization. Here's a message from the CEO, Shams Georgiani, from a long time ago that I bet people forgot about. And Shams says at the start of September that they really want to revamp the whole progression thing. After the update a month ago, that progression is now Pyostats focus. And given that this was before the last big patch, this upcoming patch, we may see some weapon customization. And the reason I bring up weapon customization is because everyone remembers Pyostats' reaction tweet to bayonets, where he says, "Let me tell you about Redacted." And trust me guys, he knew what he was doing with this tweet. So could we see weapon customization on Liberty Day? Or maybe is it one of the features of the DSS? I honestly think so. Bayonets were a huge part of Helldivers 1, and probably half or more of the primary weapons in that game had unlockable bayonets. This would be very helpful for the Terminids, especially depending on how strong they are, if they could at least take off warrior head. Another upcoming thing for Liberty Day that I think some people aren't quite believing yet is that the Illuminate kill numbers keep going up on the Helldivers companion app websites. And believe it or not, but these are actually Arrowhead employees live testing the faction before they release. Now, I am pretty certain that they were originally planned for Liberty Day, but given that they are playtesting them live, I'm not quite sure if they're ready to go on Liberty Day, because we have seen them mention in the patch that they are testing things way harder now, and we saw proof that they were testing on dev patches on live servers. So like I said, it's possible they won't quite be ready for Liberty Day and they're still testing them. They may be delayed, but I'm very certain that this is a huge piece of content coming to the game within the next patch or two. Helldivers has been out for nearly 9 months now. It's about time we see the squids returned, especially after the black hole on Meridia opened up, because I'm pretty sure we did that with some old Illuminate tech. Well, if you hover over Galaver, where the DSS is located, it shows that we're still in phase 1. Well, today's major order is almost completed once we defend this last planet. So if you're a bug diver, come help out on the bot side, because you will be very happy once we get the DSS. Even put it down to difficulty 7 if you need to, if you're used to doing difficulty 10 on the bug side. There's no shame in going lower difficulty to help out with the major order, and I've got 2 good loadouts that I will give to you. Now, the reason I'm giving 2 loadouts is because if you notice your teammate running this first support weapon I'm gonna mention, then you ought to consider bringing the second one I mentioned. So the first quick loadout is the recoilless rifle, because it can shoot down dropships to the body and destroy everything on board, as well as tanks, factory striders, and all of the big threats the bots have. Some amazing pairings with this build is the rocket sentry, the orbital gas strike for crowd control, and the HMG emplacement when you need to spray down big hordes. This gives you ultimate coverage for almost everything thrown at you. But for the primary I recommend, it'll be the explosive crossbow for groups of devastators, and you can also break robot fabricators with this weapon, and the dagger secondary for all the small bots and berserkers. And since our crossbow can destroy fabricators, we don't need the grenade pistol, and the dagger is an amazing pair with this. And finally, the gas grenades for enemy confusion. Now, the second build I'm recommending is going to be either the AMR or the railgun. This one's up to you. In the background footage, I'm using the AMR. Now, the main purpose of these weapons is to one-shot rocket striders. Now, the railgun packs a more powerful punch to the other heavier enemy units like tanks or factory striders, or even the command bunker turrets or mortar turrets, but the AMR has much more ammo for all the smaller units. Now, either one you choose will be great for this build. I was using the AMR earlier because it has more ammo, and really all I wanted to do with this build was one-shot rocket striders. Now, I'm also using the shield backpack so that I couldn't get one-shot by the rocket striders, and I could take them all out for my team and keep my fellow recoilless rifle users clear so that they can do their job. The other stratagems I'm using are the Eagle strafing run because this destroys bot fabricators, and then the 120 barrage because it takes out a ton of enemies during bot drops and it has a fairly short cooldown. Now for the primary weapon, I'm using the Jar Dominator because between the AMR and the Dominator, you always have a powerful gun in your hands to kill Devastators with. We're still using the dagger again for light bots without wasting any ammo. And then in the grenade slot on this build, I'm using the thermite because the thermite will kill tanks and factory striders for me. And if you need to, you're out of Eagle strafing runs, you can throw fabricators on any angle and it will take them out. All right, so go get that defense done. It's the last day for this major order and we're close to winning this one. And trust me when I say it, we definitely want that Democracy space station. So go dive on Carol for the third time now. So now on to the most interesting part of this video, the Reddit theory, which shows that the bots actually have brains if you shoot them with weaker guns like a Liberator. You can see they're brained if you squint enough. Now, maybe you can't see it because you're on mobile, but I can see it clearly on a larger monitor. And I also had this theory for a long time. Now, before my clip, we have another Reddit post showing an old concept art for the Automaton. This thread goes on to state that it's not, directly stated anywhere in the game that the Automatons do this, but there is room for this theory. Number one, with the Escalation of Freedom update, we got the side mission to destroy the human biofuel processors. All the human corpses on bot planets have surgical marks on their heads. And don't forget that the original faction was cyborgs, and the goal of the cyborgs was to replace as many human parts of their bodies with robotics as they could. And following that logic, maybe the only part that's irreplaceable is the brain, since that will control the machine that it's now disgustingly attached to. Now, I posted an old YouTube short because I've had this theory for a long time because certain automatons had weird behavior within the game itself, so check it out.
Hey, it's Jerry. What's up, Jerry? How's it going, brother? Haven't talked to you in a minute. This is one of the automatons where they put a scientist brain in it, but it's resisting and it won't kill the Helldivers. His name's Jerry. No, you killed Jerry! You son of a bitch! I told you he was good, otherwise an automaton wouldn't kill him. I told you he was a good guy. Bro, fuck the fucking automatons. I hate them. God damn it, bro. What the fuck? I told you Jerry was a good guy, bro. I told you Jerry was a good guy. Literally lore confirmed. No, the automatons take Seaf brains and put them into automaton bodies. That's where they come from. And Jerry resists the programming.
Now, I've also noticed since the Escalation of Freedom update that no Jerrys have been spawning anymore, and I believe with the addition of the biofuel processors that they have upgraded their mind control systems so that no Seaf units named Jerry can resist the programming anymore. And I'll be honest with you guys, this is in illegal broadcast territory, so we will cut this theory there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and that's going to be it for today's video. I'll be sure to do any follow-up videos with any news or when the next patch drops, so be sure to subscribe if you aren't already. And if you want to come catch the live stream and get into some viewer games, be sure to turn on notification. Also, do me the favor and like the video to help spread my content to other Helldivers. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.